It's I don't know if there's going to be the name for it, but it's the name today. We got TJ's MMA talk, and I'm going to be talking about UFC 319's main event with Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. It's going to be August 16th, 2025, which is next Saturday. And here's our little overview. It's going to be for the Middleweight Championship. Like we just said, DDP, who's the champion, versus Chimaev, who's the undefeated contender. So we got the venue and time. It's going to be in the United Center in Chicago. The main card airs at 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Plus. It's a pay-per-view. So the broadcast and production notes here are Joe Rogan returning to the commentary booth at this event alongside John Anik and Daniel Cormier. Dustin Poirier makes his first post-retirement appearance as a desk analyst. So he'll be one of the ESPN desk guys talking about the stuff.
Oh, cool.
He won't be on the commentary, but he'll be like on the booth doing the show stuff and all that.
Yeah.
And they'll be with Anthony Smith and Chael Sonnen, Michael Chisea, and with Brennan Fitzgerald hosting. Carly Arnold and Den Thomas will offer arena coaching insights. Den's always giving the little stuff. They'll ask him the technicals during the fights. So
Yeah.
Chimaev's quest here, he's undefeated at 14-0, and he's aiming not only for the middleweight title, but also eyeing glory in the welterweight and even light heavyweight divisions. He's apparently got improved cardio. That's his big flaw that some people say he has. So Chimaev has overhauled his cardio with strength conditioning coach Sam Calavita. He's now entering a different level and hoping to counter du Plessis' fiery late fight pressure. Du Plessis' edge here, and he's leaning into his underdog role. He's praising how his unconventional style is hard to simulate in training, and confident Chimaev can't prepare for it. So DDP's training partner believes, Mark Hume, his name is, he believes that DDP will exploit his wrestling to finish the fight within 3 rounds. I'm not too sure about that. So DDP's last 5 fights. So this was his second middleweight defense here. We're going to go backwards and forwards. So his most recent one was Sean Strickland. This was a rematch. He won by decision, and that was at UFC 312, February 8th, 2025. And his fight before that was against ex-middleweight champ. Both of these guys are ex-middleweight champs, by the way. DDP took the belt from Strickland. So his first middleweight title defense was against Israel Adesanya, and he won by submission with a face crank, round 4. That was at UFC 305, August 17th. He's pretty regularly fighting, by the way. He's not waiting and sitting around a lot. He's more active than Chimaev is. And the fight that he had before that was Sean Strickland. He won by split decision, 5 rounds. I actually think he lost that fight. It was very close either way, so you can't be too upset about it. And that was at UFC 297, January 2024. And then before that, this was kind of a shock win for him. This is when he kind of his coming out party. He beat Robert Whittaker by TKO punches, round 2. 2 minutes and 23 seconds into that round at UFC 290, July 8th, 2023. And then before that, he kind of got manhandled during a good portion of this fight by Derek Brunson's wrestling. But he ended up winning. Brunson gassed out. He won by TKO, corner stoppage, round 2 at a 4:59. That was at UFC 285, March 4th, 2023. So du Plessis on an impressive 11-fight win streak here, with his last 5 fights all being victories, of course. It would be weird that it would say that there was a streak and then say that there, and 3 of those were for defenses of the UFC Middleweight Championship, which they were. He's the man. He's super unconventional, and he's definitely hard to prepare for. But to some extent, the more technical you are, I feel like the easier it is to beat those unconventional guys. So Chimaev's last 5 fights, like I said, he's a little bit less active. But COVID really fucked him up, and it really played on his cardio, and that's a big reason why a couple of his fights people felt like that he got tired. But anyways, his latest run with his last 5 fights with Robert Whittaker, which remember DDP also fought him, but he got him out of there in round 1. It was by submission, face crank, round 1 at 3 minutes and 34 seconds. That was at UFC 308, October 26, 2024. Then he beat Kamaru Usman, which both of these guys are champions. Robert Whittaker's a former middleweight champion. Kamaru Usman's former welterweight champion. And he won that fight by decision at UFC 294, October 21, 2023. So, that's a year between those 2 fights there. Kevin Holland won by submission. Or no, he didn't. He beat Kevin Holland by submission at round 1 at 2 minutes and 13 seconds at UFC 279, September 10, 2022. So that's another little bit over a year between those fights. But you notice a theme here. Like, he won that fight by 2 minutes and 13 seconds in round one. That's pretty impressive no matter how you look at it. Gilbert Burns, this is like the first time he was tested here in a fight. He won by unanimous decision, 3 rounds, UFC 273, April 9th, 2022. So he actually didn't have too long of a stretch between those fights there. But that was a back and forth war. He beat Gilbert pretty good in round one, and then round two he got dropped. But then he came back and took him down and beat him up. And it was, like I said, definitely a competitive fight, but he won it for sure. And then before that, he fought Li Jianlang, and he won by technical submission, rear naked choke, round one. Doesn't have the time in there, but it was pretty quick. I think it was like 2 minutes. That was at UFC 267, October 30th, 2021. So he remains undefeated at 14-0, having showcased both striking and submission finishes across some high-profile matchups. And we're going to get to my prediction here. I'm really looking forward to this fight. It's going to be fucking amazing. Hopefully
I can tell.
Yeah, hopefully you are awake and watching this at the time. But if
well,
not,
your this segment has convinced me that I'm going to watch this fight. So
yeah,
good job.
Yeah, like this fight's going to be awesome. It's Khamzat Chimaev. It's like he's got like the most potential, I feel like, out of any fighter in the UFC to like just do some wild stuff. He's just super unpredictable. He has the most offensive game in MMA. He'd just take you down, beat you up, submit you. It's pretty wild. You'll have to check out some highlights from both these guys afterwards so you kind of get an idea of what we're dealing with. But anyways, looking into this fight, I think Khamzat Chimaev has the tools to end it early. His offensive wrestling, his ability to overpower opponents, and the way he blends in ground and pound pressure make him dangerous from the opening bell. Honestly, if it ends quick, I can see it because he's smothering du Plessis and he finds a submission, likely in the first or second round. But one of the weird things is I actually think he could kind of end this by knockout. If he keeps his striking super straight, doesn't do anything looping, he's faster and can 100% catch DDP with some very hard shots. But he's going to go for that takedown. That's just what he does. Now, on the other side of the coin, the argument for DDP is that if he survives those first 5 to 10 minutes, he's going to start wearing on Khamzat. And we've seen him drag guys into deep water before, and he thrives in chaotic, tired exchanges that could open the door for a late TKO or submission for the champ. But in this matchup, I think we see a more mature Khamzat, not just blitzing forward, but pacing himself, picking his moments, and avoiding gassing out. I still think he gets it done, but not instantly. My official pick is Khamzat Chimaev by submission in round 2. We'll see if that happens or not, but I think that's the most likely outcome. We've seen DDP struggle with wrestling before in Derek Brunson, and the levels between these guys wrestling, it's not even in the same world. We have one of the best offensive wrestlers in the world, not on like a on paper level in tournaments, but just on in MMA, what he's got
at a combat level. Yeah,
it's the highest level it gets, and I just don't think DDP has the defense for that. If he can somehow take the biggest like beating he has ever taken for 10 minutes and survive it, he can win this fight. But I don't think it's looking good for him. But that can wrap up our thing here. Like we said, you can watch it and react to us. We'll have a little reaction thing the Sunday afterwards. We can add that to it too. See if I was right on my prediction here. If not, I'll eat some crow. Maybe I'll I don't know. I'll hit my head with something to level the stakes.
Just drink a bottle of Crotein instead of eating some crow, I think.
Oh yeah, I don't want to do that.